Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own firehouse in Minecraft. If you think you saw where I was hiding in the intro, leave a comment down below, let me know where you think you saw me. The white grid on the screen represents the amount of space required to make your build. Feel free to make this grid in your world and mark out the starting position if you do feel as though it will help you out. And here are all of the materials that we will use in this part of the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin by placing 8 smooth quartz extending up from the previously determined starting position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to extend backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then extend across, join back to where we very first started. Now extend all of the corners of the shape that we have made down to the ground. So these 2 back corners, and more importantly where we are going to be continuing the build from, which is this front right hand corner right here. Well, from this bottom block that touches the ground from the corner of the build, we want to extend backwards by 2. 1, 2. We then want to place a red concrete next to this second block and extend it up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And extend those last 2 blocks each down to the ground, like so. We then want to take the block that we last placed extending across, which is the 6th one right here, and we want to extend across by another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we just want to extend these last 2 blocks down to the ground as well. Perfect. Continuing on, we want to extend the red concrete here backwards by 1 block, so extending towards the back of the build. Place a smooth quartz block on the side of it, so extending out. And then we want to extend the smooth quartz block, first of all, up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just 1 row higher than the actual red concrete that we've just placed. But then, this is a little bit more complicated, extend it back by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 red concrete. 1, 2. We then want to destroy in the ground and place 2 smooth stone in the ground. And on the opposite end, 2 red concrete. Continue by placing 3 smooth quartz. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to extend the red concretes each up by 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Join them together at the top. And then we want to place oak doors on top of the smooth quartz and extend the red concrete forwards around in front of the doors to make a frame, like so. We're then going to extend this 3rd smooth quartz up here, and we're going to join it to the front of the build to make a solid wall, just like this. We will work on all of the details later, but now we want to extend the top of this smooth quartz to the right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we want to, number 1, join it down to the ground. But number 2, we want to join it to the front of the build as well. So just like this. That's absolutely perfect. But We also want to add another area, so extending from this smooth quartz block here, the one that touches the ground, we want to extend to the right by 1, 2, 3, and then up by 1, 2. Stick a smooth quartz on top, and extend the smooth quartz forwards until it would connect to this wall here, would there be a wall. So you can just extend a couple of blocks across, and this is the shape that we will have. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that is a massive amount of the structure complete. What we are now going to do is add some more details to this structure. So, to start off with, we are going to begin where we begun, which is all the way over here with this smooth quartz. Well, we want to take this quartz on the ground and extend it to the right by 1. Dig in the ground to the right by 2, and place smooth stone inside of those 2 empty blocks with oak doors on top. Right of the oak doors, we want to place smooth quartz block leading up from the ground, and then we want to connect the smooth quartz all the way over to the right on the ground, and on top of this we want to place 2 blue glass extending right of the door frame, with then a smooth quartz block, and then 2 blue glass, so just like this. We're now going to move over here. So these are 2 garage doors. This is how we get the fire trucks out. So we want to have light grey concrete directly inside of the empty space created by the red concrete that we've placed, with a little gap of 2 at the top, which we are going to fill in with blue glass. Now, this next door you can either leave open or you can leave a closed door like this, and you can mix and match these depending upon your preference. Well, if you want an open door, I would recommend having a row of light grey concrete at the top here. Extend it inwards a row or so, maybe like 1 or 2 rows. We also want to extend it outwards a couple of rows, and then place a row of polished andesite slab extending from the top, like this. And of course, if you like, you can also add some glass into the door as well to make it a little bit more realistic, but you won't really get to see it too much, but it's still a cool little added detail regardless. And there we go, that's perfect. So we also, whilst we're up here, want to add a row of glass block. So the blue glass will extend from the extended up smooth quartz here, and we'll have a row of glass that extends all the way over to the left. And ultimately, above and around the outside of this, we want to have a row of red concrete. So the red concrete skirts around the top of the smooth quartz like this, and it creates kind of like a lip above the top of the station. And it goes all the way around, kind of like where the garage area is. Why do I feel as though I said that with garage? So the garage area, garage, as I would say, the garage area where we house the 2 fire trucks, we just want to have that nice little bit of detail all the way around, and eventually we will just fill the top of this in with glass as well. But coming over to the side here, we want to have a bunch of windows. So the windows, we're first of all just going to add a row of smooth quartz here on the left side and the right side of this big empty area, just like this. So on this right side of the build, we want to have a bunch of windows. If we start from the bottom left hand corner here, and we begin by placing a smooth quartz block, and then right of it a blue glass, smooth quartz, blue glass, and then above this stack 2 rows of smooth quartz block. And then we want to, lining up with the 2 previous glass, we want to also have glass just on this upper portion of the build. And then we're simply just going to place smooth quartz, glass, smooth quartz, glass, so on and so forth, extending all the way over to the right, until we will eventually reach the point where we can no longer repeat the pattern. And if you take a look, it is actually identical pretty much to the left side, meaning there's 2 rows of smooth quartz on the left side, and there's 2 rows of smooth quartz on the right side. That's what I mean by identical. It's not really identical, but regardless, you could also choose to add one here, but I mean, for some reason, to me, like when we fill in this little wall area here, to me it just doesn't seem to go, or maybe it does, it's completely up to you. Anyway, in terms of the structure of the firehouse, we have actually pretty much made the entire thing. We just have one little detail left to add to the front before we start filling in all of these walls. But before we do any of that, we have to make a bunch of banners. So let's throw down a loom, open it up, place our first white banner in there with some red dye, and the first letter we're making is F. So a vertical row of red dye on the left side of the banner, horizontal across the top, through the middle. F. Next is I, vertical row of red straight down the middle of the banner. Next is R, horizontal row of red across the top, vertical on the left side, diagonal top left corner to bottom right corner. Last but not least is E, vertical row of red on the left, horizontal on the top, middle, bottom. And there we have fire. So next is going to be station, but you could of course have house as well. We typically kind of call them fire stations in the UK, or at least where I'm from anyway specifically, but you could easily just have like firehouse, that would fit as well, so it's up to you. Anyway, next we are going to make S, so white banner with some red dye in there again, horizontal row of red across the top, across the bottom, diagonal row of red top left corner to bottom right corner. Next is T, so horizontal row of red across the top, vertical row of red straight down the middle. That is T. Next is A, so a vertical row of red on the left, the right, horizontal row of red across the top, and through the middle, horizontally. A. Next would be T again, then would be I, but we have both of those. So instead we are going to make O, so a vertical row of red on the left, right, horizontal across the top, and across the bottom. That is O. And last but not least is N, so vertical row of red on the left, the right, and a diagonal row of red top left corner to bottom right corner. There we go. Fire, stay on. But we can take all of these and we will be able to make the word that we want, so, or words. But first of all, we just have to add a couple of rows of smooth quartz block just underneath the top here. It's actually more than a couple, so the sign is literally just on the front of the build here, and I might as well just fill the rest of this in whilst I'm at it. I mean, it doesn't really leave too much room. So the sign is going to be placed on here, and first of all, there we go. We actually have room for all of the letters, although now in a weird order. So the word fire, it might actually be easier to place station, so actually no, we can do it. So right next to the door on the right here, the smooth quartz, we want to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, so just one row away from the top, and we want to place F-I-R-E. Underneath fire, we want to place S-T-A-T-I-O-N. Perfect. So that's what... That isn't a T. Station, I guess. There we go. Fire station, my bad. So there we go. That is exactly where I want the sign to be placed. And that pretty much concludes this part of the tutorial. We only have to fill in the walls. And that leaves us but one thing left to do. This last part of the build is really simple. First of all, we have to seal up the area that connects the firehouse to the actual garage where we keep the fire engines. So to do this, we will just use smooth quartz. And that's what a lot of this is. So after that wall has been sealed up, we are going to come to the back of the build and seal up the long wall of the garage. All of that is going to get sealed up using smooth quartz. Once that has been complete, there is a walkway that connects the house to the garage. So that simply means just using a mixture of smooth quartz slabs and smooth quartz blocks to make a tunnel. We also have to fill up and create a wall in between the tunnel and the actual garage itself, because we want like a nice long walkway. Once that has been done, we just want to seal up the remaining walls of the actual firehouse. There is just the back wall and the left side wall. With all of that complete, we are going to fill in the roofs. So this is really easy as well. For the actual house portion, we are going to split it into two nice even halves, front to back, using a row of smooth quartz, and then fill the two sides of the roof in using blue glass block. And once that has been done, we literally just want to fill the entire garage portion in using blue glass. This is all the way at the top, in between all of the red concrete. And once you've done that, you have completed the build, or at the very least, part 1 of your firehouse. And that concludes part 1, ladies and gentlemen. Do remember that there is a part 2 to this tutorial. Check the description, it will be the very top link if you do want to make the next part of this build. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell next to the subscription button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!